is a registered nurse. That's Tamar, registered nurse, marriage and family counselor. She's also a medical missionary. My brother Omar, he's an electrician, does his own thing. He was online earlier. Um, there is Dwight, he's the mechanic, um, worked at one of those top companies in Canada. There is Vernon, who is also an electrician and he does AC and he currently works at one of those. Well, he has his own business, but he currently works for Cougar as an auto technician in America. And then you have myself, who is a teacher. And then there's Raquel, who is, we call her Daisy, and she is a medical technologist. So despite growing up poor, despite not having it, despite not being privileged, you know, I'm going to read another little section of this book that is going to just open up um, another little part for you that will tell you, that will share with you that, listen, it is not where you start, but it is where it is where you go and what you do that makes you who you are. And it's because of God's goodness and mercies why we are alive, and why it is that, you know, God can work it out for you. So I'm going to just share this with you. Thank you, Acacia, for joining. That's my cousin. And thank you, Monique, for joining as well. So this is the part, it says, learning to share and sacrifice. When mom earned money from her sewing or dad from his painting jobs, Raquel and I would receive $20 to share. As the older sister, I divided the money, giving her $2 at recess to buy fritters, which we would share. And, you know, by the way, Miss Vivian is on, so she used to sell at the school gate. We would buy curry, you know, they put the curry in the flour and make the batter and the fritter. So we'd buy fritter from Miss Vivian and also from Miss Ina. There were days when I denied myself so she could have the food she desired. Our cousin Shakira, we nicknamed her Boopsie, you know, she noticed what we were doing, that we were, you know, sharing. And what Boopsie would do, because Miss Nana, you know, Miss Nana, so for Casey and Monique and Olive, you know Miss Nana very well. And she would take, so Miss Nana had a shop, and here it was my cousin Boopsie, we call her, well, Shakira is we call her Boopsie. She would take snack from Miss Nana's shop and take it to school and give to us, because she realized that we had to be sharing at break time, you know. So, so after I take out the $2 out of the 20, there's $18 left. All right. Hi, Nardia. Thanks for joining, my dear. We went to NCU together. Yeah, we were top students there. Thank you so much for joining. And yes, thank you so much, Miss Viv, for your words of encouragement. So after we took out the $2, right, we would have $18 remaining. And we used to purchase two $7 sweet biscuits from Blacker's shop. So those were from Barneyside, you know, Blacker. So we would purchase those sweet biscuits from Blacker. And we would buy the $2 sock again. We would buy it from Miss Vivian or from Miss Ina or from the shop at Blacker. Miss Colleen would operate it sometime. And that was our lunch. Some days we attempted to purchase. Some days we attempted to purchase what we considered goodies for lunch, though this was usually required sacrifice elsewhere. During those moments, I pledged to myself to always do my best. Right, so let me get myself together. All right, so during those moments, I pledged to myself to always do my best to become a successful teacher. though Miss White once suggested, and those of you who know Miss White, she once suggested I should become a lawyer instead, because she saw me more as someone who would, you know, argue my point and so on. So she said, you should be a lawyer. But, those were the days growing up. And it is because of those days and because of the faith that we had, we were trained to love God. We were at church every Sabbath. We participated. We did everything, all the activities, everything. Um, it was because of those days that has brought me to where I am now. For me to understand, know that, listen, you are nothing. Even though with this book, I am still nothing. Unless God decides to make me into somebody, I am nothing. And so it is a reminder to persons out there that, listen, you must put God first and foremost in everything that you do. And when I saw how I progressed along the way, thank you, Stacy, for watching. Stacy and I went to Manning School together, did the same area, food and nutrition. It's because of those moments, those things, it has caused me to realize that, listen, I need to motivate someone, because sometimes people say, you see the glory, but you don't know the story. That's it with me. So many persons will see me and say, oh, she looks so nice, or she speaks so well, and she has a master, she has a doctorate. You don't know the story behind it all. And that is why I operate the way I do. I give off my best. My colleagues, my teachers will tell you that when I step into school and I start to work, I'm giving my 110%, because it is the education system. It's coming out of poverty. Why I know that, listen, sometimes it is just teachers who are going to be there for students to guide them correctly. Right? So this book, it's a five chapter book. I didn't make it very long and winding, because I want people to be able to read and pass it along, or to purchase it for somebody, for a young person, so that they can get it together. Thank you so much, Acacia. I'm proud of you too, my love. And I know that you are going to be going places too, because we share the story. Those of us who are from Barney side, we know what it is like to grow up in a rural area with limited opportunities. And all that we got was the love from our community, the love from our parents, the love from church, right? The love from teachers. At that same Barney side, all age, Barney side primary, those teachers poured into us as young people and show us that, listen, there is another way out of all of this. All right. So hence, I decided to share my story, to put it out there in book, to put it out there, so that, I have two daughters, so that they too can be encouraged and be empowered to know that what you have now, I give of you now. I give to you now, because of where I am coming from, and because I want for you to be a little bit ahead of the game. I don't give them everything. No, they have to understand. They have to understand and know that, listen, some things are going to be reserved. You have to work hard for it. But at the same time, they know that when you get, it is because I want to push you ahead, and you too can go and do the same thing. So regardless of where you are in life, you can brush off your feet, your dirty feet, your bare feet, and step into heels. But you have to do so with God. It's not going to be easy doing it on your own, but you have to do it with God. All right? Um, so, hence, putting together this book. Now, so once again, the book will be available on Amazon on October 18th. That's my birthday. It will be available for purchase at that time. And then, so doing this now is just to bring, highlights to what to expect in the book, and why I did this book, and how it can motivate you. And then December 7th, I'll be having a physical get together with my tribe, with individuals who have impacted me more than one ways. There will also be the hybrid approach for persons who are overseas and want to join online, that they can join as well and participate in this book launch at that time. And then I hope by next year, by God's grace, next year I will finish the book. So the first part is from bare feet to heels, yeah. And then the next part will be from heels to platform, because truly this has only chronicled my start out, my motivation from age 2 up to year 2017. Yeah. And then I'll take it from there, going a little bit further. Thank you, Gavin, for watching. So Gavin and I went to Mannings. Gavin's mother was a teacher at Mannings, a lovely, nice lady. One of those teachers who would take care of you. They'll see you on the compound and ask you, are you okay? Fix your uniform, do something. And then here comes Elvie. Elvie is my past student. I met her at NCU, lecture her. She was a young lady that I poured into. You know, I supported her vision. She was always the one to go outside the box. And then Elvie became some science educator, viral thing when she did the song for the students. Yes, Elvie, and you have made your mark in Jamaica. And I know where you are currently overseas, you're making your mark as well. So continue to do well. And thank you, Kevin, that the Spanish teacher, yeah, from my place of employment when he's no longer there. But thank you for joining. He has been following my story. The first day I met him, January 2024, it was, and he said to me, he said, Doc, you just have a spirit that I love. I like how you deal with persons. I like how you operate within the space. I like your authentic self. Because what we must never forget, no matter how far we climb up the rank, remember your Jamaicanness. Remember where you're coming from. A lot of persons try to hide that part of them. I am not here to hide that part, because it was because of that part of me coming from a place where in poverty. Yes, there's a section in the book that chronicles a point in time when we got home and there was no dinner. My mother cooked dumplings, but there was nothing to go with it. And we had to wait on the eggs from the fowl. The fowl had to lay eggs. And that's when we picked them up hot, warm from the coop. And she scrambled them, and we had cooked dumpling with butter. Yes, and scrambled eggs for dinner. No, that's the God I serve. I don't have to do that anymore. But that's the God I serve, who's always providing, no matter how dim it looks, always providing for us. And I thank God for my parents. You know, they were very strict when we were growing up. There were some things we couldn't do. And, you know, sometimes we may hide and do those things. But there were some things. And here comes Natalie Brown. So earlier I mentioned about that pair of brown shoe that I got, and I had to paint it. So Natalie is the eldest daughter of Mr. and Miss Brown, and they're all in this book. You know, I've chronicled all the stories in this book. I speak to all the people who had poured into me. Yes, so Natalie, Anne, we call her Anne. So there's Anne, Nika, Nav, and Boom Boom, or Narit, all right? And so they would give us what they didn't want. And of course, they were in good condition. So nice dresses, nice shoes. We would get them to wear to church or to wear go out. When I had Jeans Day, Nika was the one who would, you know, I did partner with her. It's all in the book, but, you know, we'll do partner, and she would purchase jeans pants for me to wear to school. So I would not look like I am not, you know, I don't have it, or I was way off. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Anne. You know, and would have served at the highest level in Jamaica as a principal. She was a principal before she migrated, and I'm so grateful for all that I would have received. Miss Vivian too is online. She poured into us. So Celine was, you know, my closest cousin, along with Nav, and so on. We grew up together, right? And as I said earlier, it was, and I see Sasheen McIntosh, Toya, we call her Toya. She's from Oak by Crossroads. So thank you for joining, Sasha. Thank you for being here. And Roots Meds Morgan, we went to NCU together. She did dietitian, and the girl just got gun turned police. But hey, you're following your dreams, and you're doing what is good for you and what is best for you. And that's what I've done. You know, I've said to persons, I've never seen myself outside of being a teacher because Miss Ines impacted me so much. I remember there was this boy, a Johnny, I think a Johnny died, a Johnny Dockery. He lived up by Top Road. And, you know, a Johnny wasn't necessarily the brightest child in the class, but Miss Ines would have put a Johnny to sit with me. And I didn't like it, you know. But then Miss Ines said to me, you know, your knowledge, you're brilliant, you can do your work. You must never be afraid, and I documented it here too. You must never be afraid to share your knowledge with others. Sometimes we take it to be that, okay, because I'm brighter, because I'm well off, I don't need to mix and mingle. You must never ever forget your past. Never ever forget the moments that made you who you are today, because it is those moments that's going to propel you to become higher, to become richer, to give back as much as you can give back to your country and to your people as well, you know, your community members and other persons. You'll be able to give back to them. So this was my reasoning. You know, I've shared so many reasons with you as to why it is that I did this book at this point in time. It's just a means of motivating young people, sharing with them, showing them that you can too. Because guess what? God is your father. No matter the earthly father that you have, God is your father, and He will be able to take you through. Do you have any questions for me? You can type them, and I'll respond to them. So if you have any questions that you may want to ask me about this book, for persons who have asked where they can purchase, you know, a copy of the book, it will be on Amazon October 18, both in paperback and the hard copy. I hope to have the Kindle version up by then, but it takes a little bit more time to get together. But it will be there that you can purchase. And as I said, it's not done for monetary gains. It's done as a ministry to minister to young people, to share with middle-aged folks that despite what you have been through, there is a God. There is a God that will be able to help you and to take you through it. You know, so hence putting together this first part of the book. The second part of the book will be from heels to platform. And thank you so much, Nordian, for joining. And thank you, Shauna K. Patinger. That's someone that I admire so much. I don't know if I've ever told Shauna, but I admire Shauna so much because Shauna, I believe we're the same age. I'm not sure, but I think we may be around the same age. And I remember that I worked two jobs. One, I would work at the cafeteria during the day, and then in the nights I would work by the computer lab. And Shauna was my supervisor. Always a firm young lady, very assertive, knows what she's about, and would get it done. And then Nordian too, I worked with her sister. Her sister was also a supervisor, that's Latoya. And Nordian was like a bigger sister to myself, Latoya, Denise, and Kanisha. And we still share the link. We will still link up from time to time and talk. So thank you, Nordian, for joining. The cost for the book currently it's $30 for the hardback, and I think it's $20 for the paperback on Amazon. It may be reviewed, but that's the cost that's based on the requirements and so on that's up for now. All right, thank you, Rebon, for joining. And of course, again, if you would need to have the book personalized with my signature, you can wait until December 7th. I will be having a physical get together of this book, looking at it and having persons sharing based on what they have read and so on are coming together. So you can wait until that time. You can order it from me, and I will ensure to get it personalized and get it to you. If you are in Jamaica. If you're overseas, I've not worked out the details of how to ship it back and forth, but you can get that copy personalized. And Revon, thank you for joining, Revon Riley. So Revon, we went to Mannings together. Yeah, so thank you for joining. All right, are there any other questions that you may want to ask? You're free to ask at this time. If you just want to shout out, you know, you can go ahead and just type in that. But I want to thank you for the love, for the support, for you taking the time to just click on the live and to just watch. It's a Meet the Author session. It would say there Dr. Carla Boswell Lewis, but I only use that title in the professional academic setting. But to you, my tribe who are on at this time, I'm Carla, and I am truly grateful for your support at this point in time. Again, the book chronicles from my dream as being wanting to become a teacher into when I went back into the high school system, and the next part of the book from hills to platform will be out. I hope to get that done by next year, and that will complete the two-part series. This book chronicles my life, my dreams, how I got to achieve them, and the persons who were instrumental along the way. It also serves as an encouragement to young people. Just want to share, since I've seen Revan and some other persons from Mannings being on, you know, I remember when I was in first form and my math teacher, it was a difficult time, you know, but would have made a few little comments. And then years after that, he sat in my classroom at university. I lectured him, yeah, my math teacher from high school. You know, I was afraid of math, and he picked up, so I wasn't doing well. And he made a comment one day to say, you know, country girl can't do math. But this country girl, after many years, yeah, taught him at university. He was just getting his first degree, and at that point in time, I had my first degree already and a second degree as well. So I had my master's when I met him in my university classroom. Oh, what vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So no, I did not try to get back at him. I did not try to do anything because God is the venger. Yeah. So there was no need for me to get back. I showed him the utmost respect, the only student in the class that I referred to as sir. And many persons could not understand why is she calling him sir, you know. But it was just out of a deep place of respect. That's how I was brought up, you know, and brought up to understand that I don't need to get even with anyone, because in due time, what is theirs will be theirs. I just have to do my part, you know. And I've had many other experiences, but again, they're all chronicled in this book right here, from bare feet to heels. And that is why it is such a motivational story. It's such an impactful story that I trust that if it is even one young person, even at a time now in Jamaica last week, we heard of persons committing suicide. You know, people who you think would be well off or would be okay. There's a little schoolboy, just when school started, he killed himself, you know. And you may never know who is going through a rough time, and maybe just a page from this book will be able to turn someone around to say to them, hey, I don't have to do this. There is a way out, because as I said to you, there is power too in the tongue. Yeah. Be careful what you speak over yourselves. The story will tell you that, you know, at one point in time, I was there. So I had four older siblings. So my eldest sister, she lived in St. Catherine with my aunt. Omar was living at home. Vernon was at home, but Gary Dwight, he was in St. Catherine too. So I was the girl there, and then my smaller sister Raquel Daisy or D. Now she was too young to walk with me and so on, and so I had imaginary friends, and my imaginary friends were Sandra and Pele. And I would literally tell them that, listen, I am going to be a top-notch teacher. I am going to be a principal. I am going to be able to change the color of my shoe every day to match my outfit to go to work. I spoke life over myself. I did not look at my immediate circumstance that I was walking bare feet on the tar to go to the shop or to go next door or to go to all age school. I wasn't looking at the fact that I had one pair of shoes for my needs, and that one pair of shoe I wear it to school, I wear it to church, and if there were any other event that was going on, I would be wearing that shoe. I was looking bigger dream. That I was going to go far way better than what I was in. And it was because of those moments. Thank you so much, Miss Jones. You joining means so much to me. You're a principal that I emulate. I keep close eye on what you do. And you are next door to me because I'm at Kingston Technical High School and you're at you are at, is it Charlie Smith? No, you're at the school closer there, Haile Selassie High School. So thank you so much. And she's also a master toaster, correct? So you joining me and congratulating me. Thank you so much for that. So as I said, you know, it was a part of me to just keep looking bigger and beyond, because I know that one day the Lord would have brought me out of what I was in and lead me to somewhere higher. And I'm grateful for the opportunity that I have to serve Jamaica in the capacity that I serve them, and also to impact lives one day at a time. It's not easy, but one day at a time, I know that I'm impacting others around me. Right? Are there any other questions that anyone would like to ask at this time? I'm about to close this live. I started out at 5, but then I had some issues. Persons were saying that they weren't hearing me, so I had to end the live around 20 minutes into it and switch to a new device and start over. And here we are. It's now 6:15. So this little session was just meeting the author, Dr. Carla Boswell Lewis. They shared with you the why behind the name of this book, From Bare Feet to Heels. Why did I put it together? What's the aim? And the aim is solely a ministry to motivate young people and to spread the word of hope. That, you know, individuals who may be having it difficult in life, you don't have to think about burying your head in the sand and not getting out, because one day the sun will rise again, and one day you'll be able to get over the hump that you're in and contribute positively. So never give up on yourself, don't give up on anyone. And even if you're not a young person, you're middle age, you still can brush off the dirt from underneath your foot bottom and put on heels. And as I said, the title of the book, it's a literal and figurative approach. Literal because I've shared with you how I walked barefoot to all in school and the struggles that I had, and figuratively because even despite being bare feet, there was a dream, and that dream was to get higher. And spiritually, the Lord would have helped me and guided me, so I'm now able to walk in my heels. So it is both a figurative approach and a literal approach to this book, From Bare Feet to Heels. All right, I want to thank you so much, everyone, for coming on, for joining, for participating, for sharing. Just you clicking on that live and being here means a lot to me, and it says a lot. And so I want to thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to your support when you will purchase a copy of the book, and possibly purchase copies that you can share with young people to motivate them and to encourage them. Ready? So if you have if no one else wants to ask a question, I think I've answered some of the most pressing questions. One, where the book will be. It will be available on Amazon. The cost for the book, $30 for the hard copy and $20 for the paperback copy. Um, the reason for doing this book is purely to motivate, to empower, to encourage individuals, and to leave a legacy for my daughters, and they'll be able to understand and follow in, knowing that, nothing that I have came easy, but because of my spiritual groundedness, I was able to do all that I did, and I'm still looking forward to making greater impact and allowing the Lord to use me as best as possible in this part of the vineyard, in my ministry as a teacher, as an administrator, helping others along the way. And I want to thank my tribe, thank all those who have poured into me, who have supported me from a tender age, growing up in my community, and all the way up to this level. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you, meeting with you again another time. Um, very grateful for your support. Right? All right, so take care, everyone. Goodbye. Have a great week ahead. And remember, nothing is impossible with God. As a matter of fact, my favorite verses, Philippians 4, verse 13, which says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I've gotten to the point where I know personalize it and I say, Carla can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then there's this one, Habakkuk 3, verse 19, where it says, I will make your feet like hinds feet to climb upon your high places. I personalize it, Carla. Your feet will be like hinds feet to climb up on the high place. And the hinds feet, are the back legs of the animal being able to go up, and the strength that you need to climb up. That's what the Lord promises us. All we have to do is to be faithful to Him and live in His grace, live in His mercies, and follow His words. All right? Thank you again, everyone. Take care. Ciao. Thanks for joining. And get your copy as soon as it is out. Remember, you don't have to be afraid of your past. It's your past that will propel you into your future. And remember, you too can share with others your story to make it powerful and impactful, and to even turn one life around so that they too can achieve the success that you are basking in. Thank you again, everyone. Take care. Bye.